To the hearts of Yankees fans, not just because little brother won over big brother, as the quote heritage franchise of New York lost Juan Soto to crosstown foe Mets. The superstar outfielder is in agreement on a 15-year, $765 million contract, sources told ESPN late last night, the largest deal in professional sports history. It gets worse. It was only for $5 million more he left the Yanks at the altar. Mad Dog, are you surprised that he chose the Mets over the Yankees?
I am, Molly, and so are the Yankees, so are the Mets, who met Soto on Friday and walked out of the meeting thinking there was no way he was coming there. And as of late yesterday afternoon, everybody in Dallas, the winter meetings, thought that the Yankees were going to get him. And then Steve Cohen, the Met owner, who is George Steinbrenner currently, with the way he does things, and nothing wrong with that, he was not going to go over 750 million, and he upped the ante to 765, and Soto took the money. Now, here's what I'm a little surprised about, Mal, Rex, Danny, and Shannon. Why would you leave the Yankees? And I'm not knocking the Mets, but why would you leave this? Bleacher creatures, Yankee Stadium, right field, Aaron Judge, the history of the franchise. I mean, these are the Yankees now. I'm not knocking the Mets, but these are the Yankees. Why would you leave that franchise to go play for the Mets for an extra couple of $1 million a year when you're making $765 million? I don't understand that. If the difference was 300 to 600, all right. Difference 400 to 700, you got to leave. It was 765 for 16 years and 765 for 15 years. The Yankees, Aaron Judge hitting behind them, for crying out loud. They got to the World Series. He hit a home run to beat the Guardians. To leave that because he wanted to get the average salary at $50 million, which is what the agent wanted to do, Scott Boras, to get that average annual salary and to have the biggest contract in professional sports. I don't quite understand that. And the Mets are shocked. Don't anybody tell you differently. The Mets on Friday met Soto in Florida, and they thought there was no way he was coming to the Mets. And they thought the same thing yesterday afternoon. Steve Cohen, to his credit, upped the ante to 765, and lo and behold, Soto took it. Give the Mets credit. We're not knocking the Mets.
No, Mad Dog, you're right. It's just shocking because it is little brother, and it was just $5 million. Exactly. Shannon, where are you on this?
I'm not surprised at all because the expectations are different. The Mets will never have the expectations as the Yankees. The Yankees are expected to get to and compete for the World Series every single year. You mentioned it, Mad Dog, the history of the Yankees, the pinstripe. We know the guys that have donned that uniform, from Root to Gary to Manning to DiMaggio to Jeter, and now they have Judge. We know the historical great players that play for the Yankees. The expectations, everybody doesn't want that. He will not have, I get it, he's a phenomenal player. I think the greatest thing that he did was turn down 15 years, about 450 to 500 million from the Nationals, because he waited 3 years and got an extra $250 million if you add it up. But I believe that is the reason why, because like you said, Mad Dog, for $5 million, bro, when you get to that kind of number, what can you buy with 760 that you could all of a sudden buy with 765?
I could tell you this. It's interesting you're talking about pressures, and maybe he doesn't want the pressure of playing with the Yankees. No. There's a bigger pressure in Major League Baseball, and it's to be respected. The Players Union puts an incredible amount of pressure on their players to go to the money, to go to the biggest money there is.
Keep elevating.
That's the only reason why. I mean, come on, guys. If it was apples, he doesn't leave. He doesn't leave. But right now, the Players Union, no, son, you got to do this for the betterment of our players. No players union does it better than Major League Baseball. That's why he's a New York Met. He chased the dollar, and it's no different than almost every one of these guys in baseball. They always take the dollar.
Shannon?
But, Rex, I'm like Mad Dog. If it had been, let's just say it's the same year to year, and it's an extra $50 million, it's an extra $100 million, but for an extra $5 million, I don't think that changed the union,
That's
and I
chump
agree with
change.
you. The union is always,
To him.
they're not going to let you give somebody a hometown discount. They're not going to let you take a pay cut to stay somewhere. They're going to take the most money. But when you look at it, when you look at the sheer numbers of it, it's only a $5 million differential. And are we sure at the age in which, when he gets to, because none of these contracts are really panned out. Once you get to about year 7, year 8, all of a sudden it becomes a depreciating return. Look at the guys that have done those 10-year deals and look how it worked out. The first 6, 7 years of Pujols' contract, he looked like a bargain. And then the last 3 years, not so much. When you start getting on that there, and so he's going to be 40, 43, 44, because I think he's like 29 now, however, he's 26, so he'll be 40, 41. Are we sure? But I just think that when you talk about $5 million, not 75, not 100, not 150, but the Mets will never. Mad Dog, you live in New York. You've been there your whole life. The Mets have never had the expectation as the Yankees. Even when the Yankees have terrible rosters, they're expected to compete for the World Series. And I'm like, how? With no pitching, with no discernible hitting? But that's the expectation because they're the Yankees.
Mad Dog, final word here.
And give the Yankees credit. They went to the plate. Nobody can blame Hal Steinbrenner on this. He took the most money. He went to the Mets. One thing about Soto, to be fair, now he's Ted Williams. He is a tremendous hitter. He's an awful right fielder. The whole world has seen that. He's a terrible right fielder, and he's not a good base runner. Plus, he's not transcendent like Ohtani is. Ohtani is different than Soto. Soto's a great hitter, but he's not necessarily going to bring the Mets extra income. They draw well anyway because he's there. I'm really surprised he left Judge and the Yankees for that small amount of money. That's what it comes down to.
Mad Dog, thank you so much for making a little time for us this morning. We appreciate you.
We love you.